We're live. What's up, you Twitch, internet, everybody? How you guys doing tonight? We are live. Say hello, everybody. You're on the screen.
Hello.
Hi, guys.
It's Friday. It's Pathfinder. A little bit late tonight, but not as late as last time. So we're calling it a win. We're gonna get playing some Pathfinder here, get some stuff going on from where we left off last time, and hopefully get our new character introduced relatively quickly. So, who wants to recap from last Friday?
Shit, what happened last Friday, guys?
We killed the stuff, and we found. You know what I realized is there's a good question. We killed the stuff.
Killed the stuff.
Sorry, I heard an echo there. Why would these guys need that noble armor stand? By the way, I think we need to think about that.
Yeah, after I had some time to think about it, and said talking dog was like, "You don't belong here." Probably should have had more of a conversation with him. About, holy shit, you can talk and you're a dog. But in the moment,
But then he attacked us, so I mean,
he did attack. But no, I was sort of thinking my way through it. I probably should have just had a conversation with him and said, we're here for some rings. And just see what he said when I said that to him. Like immediately tried to tear my throat out, or you can't have the rings. They're mine. I worship them. They're my evil god. Things like that.
The little things.
Wasn't a very nice doggy.
Mm-mm.
He tried to rip your neck out, so.
And did a fairly good job of it.
Yes. He had you nice and prone.
He did.
He was mounted.
I have to start taking some capoeira lessons. That way I can fight with my back.
Right.
Stop it.
Reno, I'm not sure what's up with your Skype, but your camera dropped out again. Skype, you're running that new version, aren't you? You're back now.
Yeah, exactly. Let me see if I can go back.
And that is why I never run the new version of something.
I just fucking hate Skype. I'm waiting. For fair warning, there's gonna come a moment in the not too distant future where we have to go through this camera setup shit again, because Discord eventually is adding video chat to their program. So
nice.
Once
Finally.
once that gets up and going, we'll just have our audio and video through Discord as long as the video quality is up to standard, which I imagine it will be. That's one of the reasons they're taking so long on it. Twitch even has a program out that has video calling and audio calling in it, and I think it's built off of Discord, so I'm not sure exactly what the holdup is, but they've promised that it's coming soon. So,
Oh yeah.
but once that gets done, and hopefully they'll have some options to be able to arrange the cameras and keep people in permanent spots or whatever, so that'll help out with that sort of stuff. But just fair warning on that. But yeah, so you don't know why they had the noble armor stand thing. You have no idea.
Yeah, no, it was just something that popped in my head. I was like, hey, these guys probably don't care if their armor's or not. Who would?
Somebody, Angel, is your Skype not muted on your phone? Your microphone?
That's what I was just fixing.
Okay. Anyway, so go ahead and put your characters back on the board where they were supposed to be. It was over in this corner.
Was it that corner?
Yes, it was.
I feel like I'm turned around.
I think I threw everybody's stuff in yellow bag.
Okay. Because I'm like looking and I can't find it.
I got it.
All right.
I think Reno, is your Skype map muted?
You may be right. Let me check.
Mine
There we go.
is still not muted. I don't know why it's not.
Yeah, you
muted.
sound okay. I think it was coming on Reno's end.
Yeah, you sound fine, Angel. I think it's Reno.
It's probably me.
Yeah, you're good now.
Yeah, you're good.
So the dice rollers of note only roll dice, not figs.
Interesting.
So it doesn't flip
Well,
a
where's
fig.
the fun in that?
Doesn't flip a fig up in the air, but will it flip a coin? Nope. Only dice items.
Interesting.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you will note that old Halavar has his dice on the table
Sorry.
because fuck that pad.
So in this bag, there's a crossbowman, a shield and club guy, and a warrior with an axe. Were those accidentally picked up, or did I pick those up last session?
I'm not sure. I will take a look at them in a moment.
I'm sorry.
There we go. Okay. In which bag?
Are we?
This one?
Yeah, yellow game pack.
Ben's bag?
Yep.
Were
Were they maybe his slaves?
Yes.
Quite possibly.
Yes, they were the slaves.
Motherfuckers.
They're the slaves he was
Motherfuckers
dragging behind the
collecting.
cart for a while.
I'm playing.
It doesn't roll characters either.
No, that's what I was saying. Yeah, it has to be marked as a dice descriptor. Tools. Player names. Let's hide that. Let's hide tools. Can't hide chat because I need to be able to see chat for your rolls. Why?
There I am.
There we go. Okay. Alright, so we've got Halavar, we've got Tim. Why you're flying so high above Tim, I have no idea.
I don't know. It's been doing that shit to me tonight too. Like I tried to move my dice around and they'd be like 4 foot off the table. Kind of weird.
There. Tim's running point. Alright, so we're missing Kylar.
I thought I placed him where
Yeah.
you said.
Oh, wrong section. You put him off on the...
Oh, okay.
There we go.
I saw
that,
the goblin.
that corner.
Okay.
Yeah, no, that goblin's dead. Die. There we go.
Die, you bastard.
Alright, so you guys were coming in from this corner. Becky has decided to go back and take a nap in that room that you guys found. For some reason.
Lazy
Okay.
beach.
She'll catch up with you later. So, from up ahead, again, you guys came into this area, and surrounding you, as the further into this area that you got, were the just almost claustrophobic amount of dust lingering in the air, a thick coating of it on the ground and lining the walls as you guys proceed forth. It's not bad enough that it's hindering your vision, but it is like it's on the verge of giving you just racking coughs.
All right. Well, head on down the hallway.
I mean, is it so bad that like we can't breathe? Kind of bad.
You can breathe, but it's a little bit like you can feel it, almost like you're breathing stone dust.
Okay.
It's- Yeah. So
I'm gonna take out a piece of spare cloth I have in one of my bags and wrap it around my mouth.
Okay.
I don't feel like dying.
All right. So Kylar pulls out some spare cloth, makes a makeshift handkerchief out of it, to keep the dust particles out of his lungs. Halavar seems to just be trudging forward because, fuck it.
I eat dust for breakfast.
I'm gonna
Explains
poke
a
you in
lot
the
of
ass with my
things.
lightning blade.
Explains a lot of things.
Alright. Anything of note coming around the corner?
We haven't scouted this at all, right?
You guys
I
have
don't
not
believe
scouted this,
so.
no. So you come around this corner and there's nothing currently here. We're gonna go back to the perception rolls that I had you guys make at towards the end of last session, which I believe Kylar and Tim made. Becky as well, but Becky's fucking off taking a nap. Wherein you do hear sounds echoing down the chamber from ahead of you that sounded vaguely goblin-esque in nature.
I recall that.
So probably more baddies, huh?
I would say so. Well, feeling kind of +5 goblin vorpalish.
Alright, so how are you proceeding up there? Are you just fucking hauling ass, or are you kind of trying to go up quietly? What are you doing?
What's down this way? Because we're following what? We're kind of tiptoeing our way across this wall, following
Yeah.
Halavar.
That's the
And
question.
there's no other light sources besides Halavar, right?
Correct. I don't know how.
Well, I was thinking that I was going to come around this corner, and as soon as I saw anything, I'd take off and charge it.
Okay. So you're starting to move up
That
this way, but I mean, still, for getting up this way, how are you? Are you just kind of clunking along in your heavy armor, or are you taking your time and going slow so that you don't try to draw attention?
Yeah.
Okay.
And I want to follow. How far is this light source again? It's like 20 meters or something.
I think it
20
says
20 feet.
Yeah.
Oh, 20 feet.
20 feet is
Well, either way,
Yeah, 20
if
feet
we heard
normal
goblins,
light.
they have dark vision.
Correct.
I'm gonna roll a stealth check
Okay.
after hearing all the goblin noises. To kind of ready up.
Okay.
And what the hell is my stealth? I think my stealth was like 6,000 or something. What was that shit at? Double check.
We still need to
Sounds
adjust
right.
it because your sheet was marked incorrectly, so we need to fix that.
Are you sure?
Yes.
Yeah, it's 6,000, but with Adam's adjustment.
You've got more points in your stealth than it is possible for you to have at your current level.
Oh, so it should be 6. So
Yeah.
right, because we're all level 6.
Yep.
I don't know why it's a 9. Okay.
Oh wait,
we'll
no,
say it's,
no,
It's
it is
a
because it is.
+3 for training.
Because I get the
Yeah.
because I've been putting points into
Well,
it.
but that's your. The thing is what it is that your dex is marked as 9. That formula got fucked up because your dex is
Yeah,
not
you typed over the formula.
Yeah, your dex is not a +9. You're supposed to put points in your rank, but you put points in your dex field instead.
That's right. Okay, I'll adjust that on
And
on
you
Google.
did that in a couple of places, actually, unfortunately. Did that for your sleight of hand as well.
That's
So
okay.
your stealth is actually supposed to be 10, 13 plus 5, so 18 is your
That's what I
stealth
thought
bonus.
it was. I was pretty sure it was 18. The hell's my dex? Hold on, let me just adjust this real quick. No, it is 22. Right? Oh, well, I can only put up to 6 points, so that makes more sense. So it's 19.
Yeah, because you put points in your ranks, and then your
Yeah,
dex is modified.
I readjusted it. Okay.
All right, so go ahead and roll your 36.
36.
Okay, perfect. Okay, so you're feeling pretty confident about your stealth, about how stealthy you're being. What's Tim doing at this point?
How close do I feel like the sounds are coming from?
It's extremely hard to tell the way that it's echoing through the cavern. Like you're hearing it from your left and your right. So you get the feeling that either there's another chamber to your left with more goblins in it, or that this center mass is just that it's a center mass opening up to the same area up ahead. You're not entirely sure. But yeah, the echoing down the stone walls is making it extremely difficult to tell how far away they might be.
Okay, give me 1 second. Checking the time on invisibility. Is 6 minutes. Not knowing how fast we're going to crawl through this, I'm just going to move back up to the edge of the light, or maybe just inside.
Okay. All right. So Halavar, you continue forward. As you get to, and you're what again? You're half elf.
Yes.
Yes. Okay. So you have low light, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So when you get to, go ahead and drop yourself for a second. So when you get to here, actually, by the time you get to here, just getting myself in the camera angle. Yeah, you get to here, and as soon as you kind of start to make the transition up to here, you can see several dead bodies on the floor and a pile of rubble up on the ground ahead.
Oh
So-
shit! Is this the cave-in area?
So you
Looks
get
like it.
you're getting the feeling that yeah, you're near where you guys collapsed the stuff previously.
Okay. Go
And-
ahead.
And, at this point, the voices that you've been hearing in Goblin, they sound clearer, almost as if the voices are being directed down the hallway. So like you get the feeling that they're probably, well, make a perception check for me.
Oh, it appears to not help.
Did you roll a 1 again?
Yeah, so I got a 3.
Oh,
Perfect. So yeah, I mean, the voices are a little bit more clear. You're not sure really what that means.
Okay.
Can't really decipher anything from it.
All right. Well.
All right, so you go ahead and move forward a little bit more, and basically, when you get to this corner, you can see them, and you can see that they're all looking directly at you. The light from your sword reflecting in all of their eyes. So you get the feeling that they saw the light coming and they were waiting to see what it was from.
And they see
I
this
go ahead.
glorious paladin.
Yeah, I come around the corner and I've got my glowing sword and I just kind of put my hand up. I'm like, whoa now. whoa. Any of you guys speak common?
You don't look like you belong here.
You do speak common.
Who you? What do?
My name's Halavar. I am looking for 6 rings. Rings go on fingers?
What kind rings?
shit! What kind of rings are there?
Shiny rings?
And you see one of the goblins, he pulls a pouch from his side. This guy, he kind of steps forward once, like a little bit. He just pulls a pouch from his side, opens it up, looks in, and then just dumps it on the ground. And like several rings and gold coins just fall on the ground. And it looks to be just a mix of rings, like some are gold rings, some are silver, some have gems inset in them.
Do I feel any evil?
No.
No? Well,
And just
Rings.
yes,
Mine!
rings.
You know how mine.
Yours. Do you have any... another human? Have you seen another human recently?
You have not seen human?
And he's just kind of looking at you, square-eyed.
Why you no know humans though?
Oh no, I know where some are, but have you seen an older, blonde-haired gentleman?
Older blonde-haired gentleman.
Isn't that what that dude looked like?
No, he was a fucking dwarf.
Well, he was a dwarf, and he met the other guy. I thought we described the other guy, didn't we? The guy that he met in the cave to deliver the rings to.
Oh, you're talking about the guy that hired him.
Yes.
No?
Yeah, okay. Well, certainly seemed pleasant enough. What do you guys live in this cave?
You no live in cave? What you do
Jesus
here?
Christ.
And they all at that they all start drawing out daggers and short swords.
Guys, come on now. You really don't want to do that.
You're awful clean for humans.
The hell did he say? No,
Awful
bad.
clean for a human. Guys, I really don't want to hack it a little bit. I really, really don't.
You threaten goblin?
No, not so much. No. I'd really prefer it if just, you put your weapons down and, we just talk about this a little bit more, huh?
No. What you do here? Why you in our home?
You
Well,
You make cave boom?
No.
technically,
does
not
Kylar say no
me.
from around the corner? They all kind of like jump a little bit.
You more human back there?
I should. How many can I come around? How many motherfuckers are there?
There's about 5.
Listen, guys. Listen. We were in here when this place exploded. We were taking a nap after we drank some wine. Don't know what the hell happened, and we lost our rings. We're just looking for some rings. 6 of them apparently. We don't know what the fuck they look like. And yeah, if you want to help us out, we'll give you some coin.
You lose rings, but you don't know what rings look like? You dumb human.
Yeah, exactly. We are. I blame Halivor.
I am, in fact, not bright, but I am pretty.
How you even
You're
get
looking
in?
pretty bright right now.
How you even get in cave past guards? They no let you in. You strangers. I don't think you
It was a,
belong here.
It was a cave in at the top of it. I don't know, man. That shit was crazy.
You don't think we trust you.
Who's the closest one to me? This douchebag?
Yep.
I'm gonna spring attack him.
That's the one that was talking to you.
I'm gonna
Yes.
shit on him.
All right, so you're gonna just roll up an attack.
I'm gonna acrobatic thing, spring attack, and then let him take his attack of opportunity.
He's not gonna get an attack of opportunity for you just springing up against him.
Ha 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 ha. I'm gonna kill him. I'm tired of this goblin.
Especially since your spring attack, you're using your tumble, and your tumble is high enough to get in and out of combat without provoking.
But will I hit?
That's the question.
22?
22 will hit on this goblin, yes.
10 damage.
Alright, and at that, everybody go ahead and roll initiatives.
15.
$18.
1. Oh, this is gonna be such a good night.
Oh, he's so bad at this.
Everybody go ahead and make a perception check at this point as well.
Oh, sure.
4.
Why not? I believe that's
21.
the hell is that? An 18, 19, so 21.
And Tim?
That was a 4.
Oh, 4. Okay, you were the 4. Okay. You guys hear behind the sound of the goblins and everything that's starting to transpire in front of you. You hear a very kind of racked cough coming from off in the hallway behind the goblins. And it even for being a kind of a racking cough, it sounds not goblin. It sounds human in nature. Like you can tell just because of the general sounds of the, you know, the timbre of it and all that sort of stuff. So Kylar rolls up, does some damage, and then is Kylar going to stay there or is he going to GTFO?
I'm gonna spring out.
Okay. Sorry, I'm just looking for my D30 here. Okay. Alright, so now it will go to Tim's turn.
Well, let's. Let me see. How close I have to be. All right, so I am going to cast Enlarge Person on Halavar.
Okay.
Just right from here. And Halavar, do you need me to go over that one?
Yeah, I probably ought to write it down since you've done it a couple.
All right. So doubling height and multiplying weight by 8. You go to the next largest size, so you're a large creature now, I think. You gain a +2 to strength, a -2 to dex, a -1 to attack and AC. You can now reach 10 feet.
So you hit harder, but you're more vulnerable.
And I think that's it. Yeah.
Gotcha.
Okay.
But you can also hit while they're still a little bit farther away.
Yes.
Okay.
Though it's not threatening reach, it's just reach. So them moving through your squares is not going to provoke. Okay, and then, so that's Tim. So Kylar, it's back to your turn. You kind of
I'm
rolled
going
up there,
to-
surprised the fuck out of him, and then bounced.
He's looking pretty bad. He's looking pretty bloody.
He looks like you wounded him, but he's not. He's not beyond putting up a fight.
Let's see. And we heard kind of coughing in the back, behind the goblin area.
Coming from the distance, sounded like it was echoing down the pathway.
And we're probably not affected by haste right now, right? From the last couple rounds. I would assume that's
Correct.
one off.
Correct.
Okay. So each of these squares are so I can only move 7. squares for 35.
Yes.
Okay. You know what? I'm gonna go ahead and spring on this guy again.
Okay.
11 probably doesn't hit.
That misses.
Okay. And I'll bounce out.
As long as you're quiet, because they can pick up your talking on my.
Okay. And then that's going to be the goblins.
Guess I can scroll over for you.
Guy's gonna run up here. This guy's gonna run up here. You see this guy
Hit my
heading
keyboard, please.
this way. And you see this guy take off this way. And you see this guy turn around and start to take off this way.
These guys are the good guys. And then they killed some goblins just now.
And then these guys are going to attack
I'm pretty
Halibur.
sure they're about to find me.
That will miss. Don't even have to ask what your AC is. And that will also miss. And then it's Halibur's turn.
Okay, well, I've been attacked, so I will have to unfortunately slap them with my incredibly large steel sword. Let's go with the one on the right.
First. Okay. Going back to the... still using your virtuals? Or your actuals? Did you seriously
Yeah, we'll
fucking
try it
roll?
anyway.
Okay. For a second I thought that was
What?
a 1 again.
No. Thank God, no. 16.
Miss.
Okay. And 13 plus... That's going to be another 16. So that's going to be a miss.
That's going to be a miss as well. Alright, so we're back to Tim. And the racking cough is starting to get worse and louder.
Let's go ahead and summon a monster. Duel.
You still have your chicken?
Just checking my list here. Give me a second. I think I'm gonna go with. I think I want to go with the bat. Let me double check.
Alright, whenever you make your decision, just pull out the chicken that I gave you and just label it whatever it is that you're turning it into.
All right, yeah, and it
that-
takes a full round anyway.
And that's
so.
a full round, yeah, so, okay. Kylar.
So now we got 2 up front. You know, I'm going to attempt to go around and tumble between these 2 guys.
That's going to have to go through their
To get me.
squares, so I'm actually going to need a tumble roll for that one.
Yep.
And you're going to need a 25 or higher. Not super hard for you.
Oh, it's going to fail.
Just don't roll a 1. You need a
Wait.
6 or higher.
That's at 18.
I thought your bonus was 19.
Acro says 14 on here.
Oh, yeah, it's your acrobatics. Sorry, I was thinking about your stealth. So 18 total. That is going to fail. So you actually
But
stop
I have dodge as
here.
well.
It's still gonna fail.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because dodge isn't inclusive in your acrobatics number.
No, yeah. That's
So-
just for...
You try to tumble through. You successfully make it through Halavar's square, like, using your guys' kind of whatever coded language you guys have figured out. But then as you kind of try to go through their squares, they end up in a position where that prohibits you. And you actually have to shunt yourself off to the side here, and you get an attack of opportunity against you, which misses, I believe. 18 AC does miss you, correct?
Yeah, technically it's 23 with movement-based attack of opportunities, but yeah.
Okay. So yeah, so they miss you. The one misses
Okay.
you that had a good shot at getting you. So so you stop there, but you can still take your attack action if you want.
Okay, so I can still hit this dude.
Yeah, you can still try to make an attack on him.
23.
That will hit.
6 damage.
Okay, and I also need to do this real fast. G1. G2. G3. 4. And no, there is no G6.
Wow.
Okay. So you take a slash at him. That's the one that you hit previously.
Okay.
It is their turn, so the one that you just hit is actually going to take a swipe at you. The other one is going to take a swing at Halavar. So against Kylar first is going to be a 19 total.
Yeah, 19 AC total.
Okay. So his attack will hit you for his short sword, and then his dagger will miss you. So that's some total of... Except these guys are small. So I need to grab out a d4, which I did not do. Come on, stab my hand with a caltrop so I can find a d4. There we go. So that will be 5 damage. He rolled max for his hit.
Wow.
Halavar, the other guy's going to take an attack against you.
Okay.
First attack is going to miss. Second attack is also going to miss. These guys will continue their movement, which you guys are unaware of at this point. And this guy's going to take off this way. Okay. Angel. Make a perception check.
Okay.
$27. Okay. As you stifle the urge to cough yet again, you start to hear footsteps coming in your direction. You can't really tell where they're coming from. It's pretty dark where you are right now. But you can definitely hear footsteps coming towards you. And you are human, yeah. So right now you can't really see much of anything. You know that you're in darkness. It feels like you're laying on scratchy hay as you kind of start to you've been awake from these racking coughs, but you're coming a little bit more to your senses now. Your lungs.
So I know I
feel-
don't have any of my gear.
Correct.
Do I have my spells?
You have half of your spells at this point. Like I said, you haven't seen, like when we were talking about it before, you haven't seen daylight to be able to pray to Palor for a while, but you didn't use up all of your spells from previously. So we'll say that you have roughly half of your daily allotment of spells that you just haven't utilized since previous times. Your hands and feet, however, are bound.
Mathematics.
And you're starting to, like, again, you're starting to come to your senses. It feels like you're laying on top of scratchy hay, echoing down what you presume to be rock from when you were last awake. You knew that you were being taken into a cave system. You hear what sounds to be like fighting echoing down the corridors in the distance, but more acutely, you hear the sounds of footsteps coming directly in your direction, and they sound like very small footsteps. Go ahead and roll an initiative as well, so we can get you in the order.
I did earlier, but I'll re-roll.
Sorry. What was your initiative? I missed what your initiative was. Then sorry.
No, I don't remember. I really just wanted to roll a die at that point in time. It was the first time I got to roll a die for reals.
It's not doing our boy Halavar any good.
I know.
And not so much. Although if she keeps rolling high like that, she could roll my dice too.
20 total. Okay.
There you go.
All right. So we'll add you in at the top of next round for you to be able to take actions. Halavar, it is your turn. 2 goblins in front of you, Kylar to your side, after witnessing him attempt to tumble through them, and only to fail and end up at your side.
Hey, buddy.
Okay. Hey. I guess I will go ahead and attack again.
You should have just had Halavar pick you up and put you over him.
Right? Just chuck me through him, man.
Hypothetically could do that.
Use Kylar like a baseball bat.
I wouldn't be mad.
I'm gonna Gimli him across the Great Divide here. So I guess I will pick up Kylar, and I will attempt to toss him over into this area over here.
Okay. Make a strength check.
Okay, and an extra +2 if I have a strength of. That would make it 17. Is that a +3?
I believe so, yes.
Yeah, I think it is. Okay. So. Well, that would be a 7.
Okay. So, you reach over and grab onto, like, attempt to grab onto Kylar. Be like, Kylar, you ready for this? You reach off to the side and you grab him by his arm, and Kylar was not ready. You kind of go a little.
I was ready.
You go a little bit. You go like a half second before he's actually ready, and his balance isn't quite ready for you to take his weight, and you're still not quite used to your larger size that has been placed upon you, and you overestimate how strong you are and underestimate how much he's going to weigh in your new form, and so you think you're just going to be able to pick him up like he's nothing, but he still weighs a fair amount of weight, and so it just kind of puts you off balance a little bit, and he doesn't go anywhere.
Okay.
We'll
For my next trick.
We'll count that as you.
For my next action, I think I'm going to attack.
We'll say that was your move action to just reach out and try to grab Kylar's arm. That's fine.
Okay.
You're only going to get one attack, though.
That's fine. Here we go. Roll a 1, baby.
One.
That's not terrible. Alright, so let's see. 19?
19 does hit. You now know the number.
Okay. And let's see here. My attack when I'm biggish.
Just goes up by 1. Your strength goes up by 2, which raises your strength modifier by 1. And then, but your increased size puts you, versus small creatures puts you at a -1 to hit, so it washes actually. So you are the same to hit.
Okay. Damage-wise, do I use the larger die?
Yes. Well, yes. Your
Yep.
weapon size will increase, and then your +1 for your strength modifier will apply to your damage if you hit, which you did hit. So yeah. And which one are you hitting?
One on the right.
G1. Okay. Murderize them.
Yeah. And let's see here. It looks like 5.
5 total damage.
Yeah.
Not so much murderized. He's not looking too happy, but he's not murderized. All right, Solaris. Your senses are kind of fully with you now. You do have a very heavy urge to cough. You can feel that the air around you is not as clear as it was when you... What happened? How did you actually get unconscious? Your head feels a little bit sore, like you basically maybe got clubbed over the back of the head, and just kind of knocked out. So you can feel like a pressure and a lump, like you took a blow to the back of the head, and so you're not exactly sure what's happened at this point. You don't know why the air feels so heavy. You vaguely remember the sound of an explosion and a concussive force hitting you, but past that, you don't really recall exactly what happened before you passed out. You are... Whee! Just so that you know, you are in this tent back here.
Dump.
There you go. So you're inside this tent. We're gonna put you outside of it for now, just so that you know. But you're inside that tent, and again, your hands and feet are bound, and you hear the sound of footsteps rapidly approaching your direction.
The footsteps that I hear rapidly approaching my direction sound similar to those that were my captors before, though.
Correct. It sounds almost like bare feet with tiny claws slapping against a stone surface.
Okay. I have to check the semantics on a spell really quickly. I had one spell and then I thought I want to do a different one instead. Now that I know where I'm at.
Yeah, and again, for you, currently, it is almost pitch black.
I will actually, semantics on light is only verbal, so
Okay.
I will search. I know my hands are bound, but figure I can find a pebble or something to cast light on.
Okay. You could even cast it on the ropes that are binding your hands, to be honest.
That's handy. Sure.
Okay. So you're going to cast
Let's
light.
do that.
Cast light on the ropes that are binding your hands. Okay. So the light flickers to life. The air around you is almost like a fog, like when you turn on your lights like your high beams in the fog or a heavy snow, and it's almost like kind of blinding you because the light coalesces around you and fills up the space, but not so much that you can't actually see. It just kind of gives that appearance of a glow all around. And all around you can see what looks like hides draped around you, and it starts to come back to your recollection that when you were last awake, you were being brought into into tents inside a small area of the cave system. You're not sure what area of the cave system you were in, but you were being brought into what looked like a small area that was meant for a couple of troops, gnolls, goblins, what have you. And you think that currently you are inside one of those tents.
Okay.
So you do still have a move action you can try to do something else with if you want to try to use that to try to unbind something, like to work on your feet.
I'm not even sure if I've got a good use. It's escape artist in this one.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'll attempt to escape.
Okay.
Don't expect a whole lot, but I'll attempt it.
It's official. She's making all my rolls from now on.
So
I'll attempt it.
you reach down. What are you trying to unbind first? Your hands or your feet?
Hands first. Well, feet first.
Feet first, so you can get.
I like
mobile.
running first.
Okay. So you reach down and you start to pull at the ropes that bind you, and you realize that it was perhaps tied hastily by kind of bigger, thicker hands that maybe weren't as dexterous as human hands, and you're able to relatively easily actually undo the knotting system for your feet, and you are able to completely free your feet.
Nice. Okay, fantastic.
Okay. So then that will take up yours, unless there's any like free actions like yelling or talking or anything like that you want to do.
Trying to not cough too much.
Okay. So you're stifling your coughs. Go ahead and make a Constitution check or Constitution save. Fortitude save. $20 total.
20.
Okay. All right. So you're able to stifle, stifle back a cough. All right, Tim, it's your turn. Your leopard comes into being next to you. What are you or your leopard doing?
Chicken. So I'm gonna point at the one on the left.
Okay.
To command the leopard to pounce.
Leopard dies.
Oh no.
Okay, so it runs up and does a pounce. How does its pounce work? Because Halavar's taking up the square in front of it. So is it trying to bowl it over kind of thing?
Well, it doesn't really explain that. Let me get you the wording on it real quick.
And what size is the creature?
It is a medium animal.
Medium animal. Okay, so yeah, it's not going to be able to occupy the same square as Halavar.
So, one, pouncing is, I think, supposed to kind of like tackle or
It's supposed to be kind of like a grapple.
grapple. It doesn't say exactly. I mean, it says leopards and their kin prefer to hunt at night and ambush their prey from above, pouncing down from trees or high rocks.
Oh, okay, I think that might just be descriptive of the nature.
But the pounce, right. So, like, I mean, and then there's looking up pounce. When a creature with a special attack makes a charge, it can make a full attack. I mean, I guess if you can't stop there, then I guess that won't work.
I mean, if you want to try to have him grapple instead, then he could attempt to occupy the same space as the goblin.
No. I want to do the pounce.
Make a perception check, actually, for me, Tim.
Okay. 20.
20. You hear the sounds of feet quietly slapping against the floor behind you.
Okay. Then, in that case,
Tim looks very surprised right now.
I'm going to go with... All right. So, I'm going to have the leopard ready in action
Okay.
to pounce on the first creature that comes, let's go within
Within
comes
pouncing
within
distance.
about 25 feet of him.
Okay.
So that thereabouts roughly.
Okay.
And then for the party, I'll cast haste.
Okay. Alright, so then that will move to Kylar's turn. You're now hasted. So 3 attacks if you decide not to move.
Can I can't really 5-foot shift in front of Halavar, huh?
Nope.
Okay. So I'm going to
But if you
when I
kill
attack
this one
this
that's
dude-
standing here, then you can 5-foot shift into his space.
Yeah. So I'm gonna attack this guy first. So I
Okay.
should get 3 rounds.
Yeah, you get 3 attacks.
14 does not hit, right?
Correct. Neither does a 15. 27 does hit, however.
9 damage.
Okay, and that one falls down dead.
And I'm gonna shift into his square over his dead, lifeless corpse. I step on his balls. Get out of here.
Okay, so 5-foot shift, and so you've got 1 attack left.
And am I in flanking technically?
No.
Damn it. What a bastard. 20 will hit for 11 damage.
Okay, and that's on G2. Alright. And then it's the goblin's turn. He's going to go ahead and make an attack against Halavar still because he got big and scary, and he doesn't like that.
No! Hallie!
Alright, good news is
Hallie,
he,
no!
good news is he
I
doesn't
like it.
he doesn't crit you.
That's good.
She almost did. But he does do 5 damage again.
Okay.
This guy really doesn't like you.
They're hitting us with rocks.
Short swords, just small short swords. These guys, 5, 10, 15, 20, comes within range.
Yeah.
This guy coming up behind him. As the chicken butt slams him.
All right. So the cool thing about pounce.
Is the chicken gonna pounce him? Because that would be amazing.
Yep.
Chicken leopard.
So pounce gives when a creature with this special attack makes a charge, it can make a full attack, including rake attacks if the creature has the rake ability. So the leopard has a bite, 2 claws, and a rake.
Okay,
So let's try to do some damage.
go for it.
All right. So I'm going to just go ahead and roll bite, then 2 claws, then 2 rakes. Trying to attack.
Miss, hit, miss, hit, miss.
All right. So we got a claw and a rake. Claw and Rake are both the same. So it's a D3 plus 3 for both of these. So I'm going to
Okay.
roll a D6. And so that'll be 3. So 6 damage on the first one. And got to roll the die. Hey, another 6.
So 6 total.
12 damage.
So 12 damage, okay. So he goes down to... Okay. He's kind of startled as this leopard comes running at him full force. And so he is going to make an attack against the leopard now that it's in front of him. What's the leopard's AC?
15.
Okay, so he crits it.
Ouch.
So the leopard takes 8 damage.
Okay, dokie.
This guy will finish his movement and also attack the leopard. And he misses. This way. Okay. So Solaris hears the footsteps exceedingly close. It sounds like they are almost right outside of your tent. And then that will be Halavar's turn. Did Halavar's audio die again?
It's time for all the money here. Get out of my dice tray. Come on, get out of the dice tray. Damn it.
That landed in a bag.
It did. Let's see here.
Stabby, stabby.
17.
Nope.
You're gonna fail.
Fine.
Come on,
How
son.
about 25?
25 will hit, yes. What'd you roll on the die for that?
Critical.
18.
Which for your weapon is...
I'm rolling it. Come on, be good to me. Nope. That's gonna be a miss and a half.
Okay,
Get
so
out
so
of my
just,
tray.
so just a regular hit. Alright, so go ahead and do your damage on Mr. G2.
Of course, that's the die I need to.
The one that wound up in the bag.
Yep.
You roll a 1.
No. 5 damage.
Okay.
Okay.
Alright, and so then Solaris, it is your
I'm going to attempt another escape artist to unbind my hands.
Okay. You're finding that these knots are a little bit better tied, and it's just the difficulty of trying to untie your own hands, like with your teeth or whatever, while fighting back the cough. So you're finding it difficult to get that to happen. So you're unable to successfully free your hands.
With my feet free, I can get up and move freely in the tent, though.
Yes.
Okay, well, I'm going to get into at least a fighting stance and hope for the best.
Okay. Okay, sorry, I had to do something there real fast. Alright, so you get yourself stood up. You're in a fighting stance inside the tent. And then that will be Tim's turn.
Tim will throw let's have the leopard do a full attack on the same goblin.
Okay.
So that will be 3 regular attacks, and I actually forgot he's hasted, so
Okay.
that'll actually be 4 attacks.
Hit, miss, hit.
Okay, so the first one was a bite, and the last one would be a bite. Sorry, I didn't call that first.
No worries.
So it was hit, miss, hit.
Yes.
Okay. So 2d6 plus 6. So 16 damage.
And hold on, and that's on G4.
Yes, and then
And he falls down dead.
gotta see. Oh. Good job.
But they have the same AC, so you can direct the additional attacks at the other one.
Okay, so then one more. This one is the claw, so it's a half a d6. So 4 damage total.
Okay, and that's on G3.
And
Okay.
let me see. Splash is. Yeah. So then another. Another half a d6 on the same guy. Acid splash. 3 damage.
Does the acid splash automatically hit like magic missile? Thought that was arranged.
Oh wait, I'm sorry. You are correct. Range touch. Sorry. And a miss.
On his touch, yes, it
Oh,
does
maybe
miss. Yeah, it does.
Damn.
Just barely, but it does miss.
All right.
All right, and you're staying put.
Yes.
Okay, Kylar. If you 5-foot shift, you will be in flanking.
Yep. So I'm gonna do that. Great. Let's do that on that guy, and do I get a bonus for flanking? Is it +2?
It is.
Come on. That's not a hit. That's
Nope.
terrible. Wow. Okay, so I'm gonna roll second attack. Okay.
Oh
quit.
man.
Oh no.
I get another attack.
No, you don't.
If your weapon's still in your hand.
Damn it.
High or low?
Low.
Okay. You go to make your next attack, and your feet just kind of get away from you a little bit, and you just topple off balance a little bit and shift back over 1 square. But it does eat up the rest of your turn.
Bastard.
So that will put us to the goblin's turn. This one's going to attack Halavar still. It's still scary. And Halavar, high or low?
High.
All right, 89. He swings at you with his short sword, just completely missing. He swings at you with with his dagger, like just lunging out to stab at you. And it kind of glances off of your knee pad there. And he recoils from his sudden mishap and poor aim. And in doing so, he falls back he comes back too much, and he falls back into Kylar. Kylar, take an attack of opportunity.
Wait, my bad. I had a, that doesn't do anything.
No.
7.
No, that will miss.
I'm just rolling like garbage.
Even with your bonus, that will miss. These guys will both attack this guy will attack the leopard. He will fail. Hit.
Oh, and the leopard has a 16 AC. Just
Yeah, he rolled
okay.
well above that. So the leopard will take 4 damage. I don't know how much health the leopard has left.
7
Okay.
out of the box with 19.
Solaris, you are inside this tent. You've heard the footsteps approaching you. You're standing up and you're kind of ready to fight pose, and a goblin throws back the drapes, kind of recoiling his eyes for just a split second as the light spills out of the tent, flooding his face. And he just kind of points in with his short sword.
You hear me? You come now! You come or you die.
I'll comply.
Okay. And he steps back out of the way, holding pulling the curtain with him, so you can come out of the tent when it's your turn. And as he does so, opening the tent more, the dust that's just been collecting inside this tent starts to spill out, and it gets a little bit easier for you to breathe. As the air that floods in still isn't fresh. It still has a heavy mixture of the dust in there, but it's a lot lighter than what you've been breathing. So you're breathing a little bit easier now. You don't feel the urge to cough quite as often. And he's just standing back.
Are these the same goblins that brought me in?
They look familiar. The way that they all dress and act, it is hard to tell.
Sure. Okay. Same faction, essentially.
It appears to be that, yeah. Halavar,
Yes.
your turn.
Here we go. Another series of epic fails.
1.
21.
That will hit.
10 damage.
10 damage, and this is on G2. He looks extremely fucked up. He looks like you could breathe on him hard and he'd probably die.
I will attempt to breathe on him hard.
Okay.
Sneeze.
That will
That's
hit.
all it's gonna take.
A 10 damage.
Okay. You significantly overkill him. So with your increased size, you swing forward, just kind of irritated at how poorly this fight's been going for you. Being kind of pointy and molested by these goblins. So you swing down mightily with your sword and just cleave the fucker in half, at a diagonal. He does the comedic, like, standing there for a second, not sure what happened, before his body kind of slides in half,
Very
falling
nice.
falling to the ground dead.
Okay.
All right, so that will put us to Solaris. So he's standing off to the side, holding back the tent cover.
Did I get a sense of how many were out there?
To your knowledge, as far as what you can see and hear, it's just the one that's outside right now.
All right, I'll step outside the tent and get a better view of my surroundings then.
Okay. So you step out, and it's pretty much what you see. You don't see any other creatures other than him, and you see the stuff that's in the surrounding area.
Okay. How close paying attention to me is he?
Very much so. He's keeping a very watchful eye on you to make sure that you're not going to try anything.
All right. I guess I won't try anything at the moment.
And he's pointing this
I like
direction.
staying alive.
Yeah. He is pointing this direction.
Okay.
With his dagger while putting his short sword kind of towards you.
Okay.
Telling you to go that way.
That's also the direction I hear fighting in, I assume.
Correct, yeah. The echoing coming down the corridor. You're hearing like the grunts and regular sounds of battle.
Okay.
So you still have some of your movement left if you want to choose to kind of go ahead.
Yeah, I'll go ahead and move forward. I do want to try and keep an eye on him. Prefer not to get stabbed in the back.
Okay, so you're just going to kind of be walking sideways?
Yeah.
Okay, so I mean, I'll say that you still have your 5 squares of movement left, so you can go ahead and just kind of move yourself in that general direction however far you want.
Maybe. Am I gonna... is it safe to assume that my gear is probably in this tent? Oops.
In which tent? No, I mean,
This-
you have no idea what they did with your gear.
Okay.
And he follows behind you. Basically, his actions were ready to follow you as you move forward.
Okay.
And then that will put us to Tim.
Well, first the leopard is going to go for another attack.
Okay.
So again, bite, claw, bite.
Okay.
Stay off the keyboard, silly.
And so those are 17, 17, 26.
Only one of those hit, the 26.
Damn. Well, it's still a d6 plus 3, was it?
Believe so.
Yeah. Five damage.
Okay.
And yeah, I'll do the same thing.
Acid splash again.
Yeah. 21.
That will hit.
Yay. 1 damage.
Oh,
Take that.
right. So it's funny, I'm just now noticing that I think they fucked up some of these figs recently, trying to do stuff to keep them updated or whatever. If you look at your fig, because he has his hood up, he also has his hood down.
Yeah, I saw that earlier.
Kylar, it is your turn. You can
Alright,
see
let's do this,
you can see past Halavar, one goblin in the back fighting a leopard that you're not sure where it came from.
where the hell did that cat come from?
And that's pretty much all that you're aware of at this point.
Why does that cat look like a chicken?
Chicken of time.
All right, so there's no more
And rosemary
threats.
and basil.
There's no more threats in front of us because all these dudes died from the explosion. And we did hear sounds or coughing come from kind of towards the back of the cave, like past this haystack area.
Correct, yeah. You heard coughing coming from back in that direction, and you did see one of the goblins go that direction towards the coughing.
I'm going. And are we still affected by haste?
Yes.
Yep.
There is a light source down that direction now too.
They're not
I don't know
quite
if they
seeing
can.
that yet.
Yeah,
It's
So I
being
can
blocked
go-
by the tent and the curviness of the corridors.
walls.
Yeah.
I can technically move all the way here with haste.
On a single move.
And we have 3, right?
Well, you've got your regular move, which is your 35 plus your 30 from haste, and then you've got another 35 if you do a double move.
I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna take the other.
Okay, so
That's
about the
about
time you
7
get
towards-
to here, you do start to see some light kind of shimmering off of the cave walls.
Okay, and that's halfway through my movement.
Yeah.
Can I roll a stealth check at that point?
Yes. Because you have the thing that lets you make stealth checks even with full movement. Without penalty.
$22. Wow, that's awful.
22. Okay. You're still feeling relatively confident in yourself. You're getting kind of, you get up here in a little niche, and you start to move forward a little bit more quietly, but you're feeling a little bit comfortable. You're not seeing any enemies as of yet, so you feel like you're still being pretty quiet.
And I can just barely see a light source. Is that
Now you can see the light source a little bit more clearly. It's very, very obviously coming from past and over this tent.
okay?
And you can vaguely make out a humanoid shapes kind of wreathed in light past the tent.
Okay. And I guess that's the end of that move.
Okay. And then that's going to be the goblins' turns. So this one, still being alive, is going to go ahead and attack the leopard because that's what's in front of him. Fail. Fail. This one is going to basically, he's still using his turns now to follow you. But he's basically just prodding you forward still with his short sword and his dagger are both still drawn and on you. Just following you forward, basically. Halavar.
Well,
You're hearing sounds of combat from behind you.
yes, I will.
Excuse me, Mr. Leopard, do you need some assistance?
Leopard chicken.
And you can actually hit that goblin from where you are because of your size.
Okay. 11.
Well, you could if you didn't suck.
Yes, well, we have firmly established that I do.
You need to stop sucking and
that's
start
okay.
looking.
Yeah.
Alright, so then that will put it back to Solaris' turn. Solaris, make a perception check. You're distracted kind of as a cough starts to come over you that you're kind of fighting back. And especially with the sword and the dagger that you know are at your back. So you don't really notice anything at this point, but he is still kind of urging you forward.
Where are you taking me?
You move, no questions.
I'm going to try and use my body to shield my actions of trying to, again, get out of my bindings.
Okay, so you're just kind of doing that as you walk forward? Or
Yes.
are you doing it before you walk forward?
No, as I walk forward, I'll continue to walk forward, but I'm going to try and escape the bindings on my hand again, but using my body, turning my back so that he's not seeing my hands, essentially.
Yeah, basically just making sure that he's squarely behind you. Okay, go ahead and roll an escape artist. Okay, yeah, they still seem like they did pretty well at tying these together still. So your hands are still pretty firmly bound. But you can go ahead and take your movement, single or double at your choosing. He's prodding you forward, but he's not like making you go by pushing his sword into your kidney or anything like that.
Yeah, no, if I remember correctly, they didn't want to keep me alive, so I'm just gonna take normal movement.
Okay. So
I'm not one to go for my death march.
So when you get to here, and you feel the goblin kind of coming up behind you, you actually see a humanoid shadow figure in front of you. The light and the dust are making it hard to make out who it is, and you have seen some humans in these caves before as well. So it's not anybody that you're familiar with, and it's kind of hard to make out the details of the person, but there is a kind of a shadowy figure ahead of you. It's made it even harder to tell who he is because of the way the light is reacting to the cloud dust that's in this area. It's a little bit more full in the air. Kylar, you notice this as well as you start to get back into this cave system, just because of the way that it was closed off. There seems to be a lot more dust trapped in the air once you're getting back into this point. It's getting even with your handkerchief, it's getting a little bit harder to breathe at this point. But you see come around the corner what definitely looks like a human, kind of wreathed in light as a halo effect right now, almost blinding through the cloud of dust.
Yes, all praise Paylor.
And make a perception check.
Which one of us?
Kylar.
Okay.
Sorry.
Oops. 19.
19.
I don't know
Okay.
why it's lagged out.
It is apparent to you at this distance, even with the halo of light. Kind of being familiar with the light spell and stuff like that, because you guys have been using it almost the entire cave system. That you can tell where it's emanating from, and it looks to be a series of ropes bound around someone's hands as they walk towards you. And very, very vaguely behind them, you can make out a smaller shape. It's hard to tell with the light radiating out from them towards you what the shape is behind them, but it seems to be another live figure walking behind them. So at this point, Solaris, you have only used half of your movement, and you do see another humanoid figure ahead of you, kind of looming in the shadows.
The other humans that I've seen in this area while I've been a captor, they have been prisoners like myself, or they have been on the bad guy's side.
You've seen some prisoners, and you've seen some on the bad guy's side. So
okay, so I actually have no idea which direction this guy is.
Correct.
And
he does, you can tell from the silhouette of his shape that he does have weapons drawn.
Again, though, if I remember correctly, I was captured to be a sacrifice or some kind of weird thing.
From what you've been able to make out,
they're not looking to keep me alive.
Correct. From what you've been able to discern from your time in captivity, they are looking to use you as a sacrifice for some nefarious spell.
Okay. Well, they wouldn't do it here then. If it's
Magic
a nefarious
missile
spell.
at the car.
They wouldn't do it right here. All right. I'll take another hesitant step forward, but I'm not going to go any more forward unless I'm prodded forward by my friendly goblin.
Okay, and he will follow behind you. Tim, that puts it to your turn.
Well, we still have this goblin that needs to die. So let's try that again.
Alright.
We got 2
Come on.
bites.
Chicken leopard.
Yep, both bites will hit. Everything else will miss.
$11 damage.
Alright. So he looks pretty fucked up at this point. He's not quite down, but he's looking not so happy.
And that acid splash doesn't hit.
And that will miss, yes. Kylar. Your turn. So you've noticed, again, this figure kind of coming towards you. It looks to be that their hands are bound and there's another figure behind them. You can't, again, make out quite enough information about the person behind them, but it appears that they are looking directly at you as the area that you're in is now kind of cast aglow by the light.
So obviously I know we're fighting the goblins and he has dark vision, so I'm probably revealed to him even with stealth.
At your current location, you can make sure, you can probably assume that's a safe assumption.
Okay. I'm going to, let's see. I'm gonna do a full round action, but as I'm gonna run speed towards what I assume is a goblin. And as
Okay.
I'm running, I'm just gonna yell duck.
Okay, so hold on. As you get to
Here.
As you get
Like
to
the middle point.
As
Yeah.
you get to here, you hear you hear the goblin-esque voice from behind this figure shout out, and Solaris, you feel the tip of his sword kind of press firmly into your back, right about where you presume your spleen to be. Like if he pushed it hard enough, it would just go right into you. And he shouts out,
You stop! Your move, she die!
This is the shortest lived character I've ever played. If I have the ability, I'm dropping to the ground. Just
"Okay, go
so
ahead and
everybody
make
knows.
go ahead and make a reflex save."
Reflex.
All right. So the goblin at your back, you see this figure running at you. You hear a shout of "duck," kind of throwing your head over your shoulder to see what the goblin is, his exact location and what he's about to do, and you just kind of lunge yourself forward and down away from the direction where his short sword is. You feel the goblin react and try to push the sword into you. Just barely nicking your back. Does like 1 point of damage. Trying to catch you as you move forward. And so you go down. Kylar, if you're still continuing your move, unless you halted at him yelling that he was going to kill her, you can finish your move forward to try to make your attack.
Yeah, I was at full sprint, and what I want to do is jump when I'm about 5 feet from him to attempt to basically land onto the goblin
Knee to the
with
face.
swords drawn. Yeah, pretty much.
Okay. Roll an acrobatics check to successfully jump over this person that's trying to duck out of your way.
Oh, this is gonna be so bad.
Oh, please don't land on me.
His acrobatics is relatively high. It's just a matter of how well he succeeds.
20.
20, okay. And then, so, you run forward. This person that you're unfamiliar with, but hands bound, seems to take heed of your warning.
Advice.
And drops to the ground. You see the goblin's sword lashing forward to try to catch her. As you are leaping in and through the air. Go ahead and roll both attack rolls for me.
23 and a 20.
All right. So you leap into the air, swords drawn. I imagine spinning them in your hand as you leap into the air to put them both in a downward strike kind of position. And you land squarely against this goblin. Kind of one knee goes into his face as you fly through the air, sending him reeling backwards. And as he lands on his back on the ground, you come down with both short swords just stabbing downwards. Go ahead and roll your damage and include sneak attack, as he's caught off guard by trying to manage the situation. Okay, so that's one attack. Sneak attack on both weapons, on both attacks.
Oh, on both weapons, so
Yep.
23 and 22.
Okay. So you have overkilled this goblin by 19 points. So describe in vivid detail just how murderous and bloody of a death this is. Give us some flavor to this, to the actual death. We know how it transpired, the actions that led to it, but just explain how this goblin goes out in a blaze of glory.
So after I leap into the air, the goblin ever so carefully slicing at the person in distress. He doesn't see me coming. Land with both swords deep into his skull as I step onto his sternum and kind of twist the blades after landing right on top of him to make sure that I'd finished the kill.
All right, so yeah, you successfully dig your short swords in, twisting them with your your full strength. As you do so, you feel the tips of both of your blades connect with the stonework underneath him, and as you twist, you feel the blades connect with each other, and then just the sheer pressure of it, you landed these blades kind of in his eye sockets as he fell backwards, and you literally just rip the top of his skull off, and his brain just kind of rolls out onto the floor as blood fills the area.
So delicious.
And so then that will be the end of that goblin. He did. He did a lot.
He really did.
He's super dead. And then that will put us to the goblin's turn, and there's only one left. It's going to attack the chicken again, the leopard. Tim, or leopard rather, high or low?
I'm going low.
Okay. So he reaches out to make an attack against your leopard. Kind of startled by this very, very large being. A being that he recognizes was not this large at the time that he started to try to come around to flank you guys. It startles him and throws him off balance as he lunges at the leopard. Kind of stumbling as he goes, and he falls prone at the feet of the leopard, giving the leopard an attack of opportunity.
All right. Let's see if he can do this. So it's 14.
14, even flat-footed, that will miss. The leopard was not ready for it. But that will be the goblin's full turn, which puts it back to Solaris. No, to Halavar.
Okay, well, I think Halavar will
Just
go ahead and attack the goblin on the ground
Just walk forward.
by
and step
stomping on it.
just jumps over the leopard and lands on its skull.
I'm gonna do a Bruce Lee from Enter the Dragon.
So that will miss.
And then I'm gonna jump again.
And that
that
will
way.
hit. You jumped forward but landed next to him. And then you jump and land. You jump again and you manage to land on him.
Playing some hopscotch.
The full weight of your body. You land on top of this goblin, who apparently is still taking up a full square. So roll. How much do you weigh normally?
I weigh.
Not including armor weight. Armor weight, I imagine, on your sheet.
210.
210. Okay.
Multiply by 8.
With armor, we'll call that 280.
Okay.
Multiplied by 8. So roll. Roll 3d8 for damage.
16.
Okay. So yeah, you successfully land, like both of your feet somehow manage to, like, one lands on his sternum, one lands on his skull. The one on the sternum landing just a half second before the one on his skull, pressing the weight of, all of his upper body organs, his blood, his lungs, everything kind of forcing up towards his shoulders, pressing all of that matter and that pressure up towards the skull, kind of making it swell with blood and just everything just moving forward. And then your other foot lands that half second later on his skull, just taking all of that built up pressure and popping it like an overripe grape. And his head just explodes underneath your foot. You ever seen the thing that they do where they wrap a watermelon in rubber bands until it breaks?
Yeah.
That's what happens. That's basically what happens to this goblin's skull.
Okay.
And then Solaris, your turn.
You can go use the that noble's armor stand.
Yeah. That's the plan.
I'll roll back up to my feet. Amidst coughing, I'm sure. Thank you.
Yeah, don't worry about it. We're the CIA.
The CIA. The CIA. The church
Yeah.
sent you?
No, the completely incompetent adventurers. I got my buddies back there trying to fight something with a chicken.
With a chicken?
Yeah, that's crazy. But I saw, all goblins have to die. They're not helping us out find things that we need, so I figured you might have some information that we couldn't get from them.
I'm going to hold the bindings out,
Okay.
Got it.
Slice them up.
Come on, Kylar. I'll be like,
Please.
well, no, let's not be hasty here.
It's fine.
All right, so
I'll
you're gonna
go ahead and
you're gonna
I'll take
cut.
out a dagger and cut them up.
Okay. In doing so, you slice the ropes and free her hands, but in doing so, you also break the
spell.
ropes, and the spell falls away, and you guys are encased again in complete darkness.
Well then, this is awkward.
Knowing that his dagger is still right there, I'll immediately cast light on that dagger.
You just fucked with the rogue.
Damn it.
So yeah, Kylar, your dagger is now wreathed in light.
That's okay. I don't use those very often. I took out the dagger and not my swords.
Valid point.
Okay. Okay. Well, thanks for that. Thanks for the light spell. You have fun. You coming or what? We gotta go.
I'll go. Man,
Did you have any equipment you need to find?
my
Any?
gear might be here.
Okay. Well, now that I have this pointy fucking flashlight, let's try to find let's try to find your shit. Can we? I guess we can try to roll perception checks, see if we see anything.
So I mean, if you're just gonna take your time and search around looking for her gear now that combat is over, that's fine. What are Tim and Halavar and the Leopard doing?
Well, I guess we're gonna come around the corner and find out where the hell Kylar went. He's probably taking all the good loot.
Or dead.
Or dead, one of the two. In which case, I get his ring. So.
What?
coming around this way.
All right, so you guys are making your way over this way. Okay. So as they're kind of making their way to find you guys, you're able to search around a little bit. You look in the tents a little bit more. And they all seem to be just basic coverings to keep any breezes that might roll through the cave system out. Places for them to store their personal stuff. You find a couple of tankards and some unfinished pieces of rib meat from some creature that they were probably gnawing on. You know, Solaris, when you were in this area, that you were primarily surrounded by wargs or wolves. You did hear them speaking, so you presume that they were wargs and gnolls, which seemed like an odd combination to you because it was basically upright dogs with all four paws dogs. And the all four paws dogs seemed like wargs seemed smarter than the gnolls for the most part. But as you look around, you do find another little area back in this section where they've got some goods that they're keeping for themselves, like local rations for their little encampment, and then some crates, and your stuff is kind of just tucked back here in the corner behind the crates and the barrels. They've just kind of thrown it in a quarter back there.
I'll go and collect my gear.
So you have your gear now.
Yay! Is anybody injured? Since you guys kind of rescued me, are you guys hurt?
Yeah.
Hey guys, I found whoever this is. What's your name?
Solaris.
I found Solaris over here, and the goblin seemed pretty interested in either murdering her or murdering. So I figured I'd murder the goblin and find out what we can, why that goblin would, had his knife to her. Do you want to take the time to put on your gear before we get into it?
I'll don gear while talking.
They all sit there
I'm
and watch
interested
you.
in
Every single
leaving.
one of them.
Yep.
Gear can go on top of clothing. It's really easy.
Halavar doubts
I'm gonna
this.
sheath. Halavar sheath her sword. I'll sheath my dagger so she can't see what she's doing.
All right, so you gather your gear, you get your stuff all arranged and put on, and then you're not. Yeah, the enlarged spell eventually wears off. And you're not aware of really where in the cave system you are at this point. Only that you haven't left this cave system since you were captured roughly a week ago.
Okay.
So you're feeling pretty anxious about missing the light of Paylor.
The sun.
Yeah.
Yes.
And also, you guys are the longer that you guys are here, the more heavy your lungs are feeling. As again, this area is even more dense with dust than the areas that you've been in previously.
Okay. Well, I guess while we're chatting up old Solaris, we're probably going to be searching for goodies. That way we can get the hell out of this dust clogged.
Alright, so you find 3 pouches. One that probably belonged to each of the gnolls that looked like they hung out back here. Each pouch contains... the first pouch will contain 43 gold. Second pouch contains 9 copper, 84 silver, and 14 gold.
So, 90 gold total?
And then the third pouch contains 81 platinum.
Platinum's good.
And 92 gold. The bigger pouch. And then back in the corner where her stuff was, there are 3 casks that all appear to be... They're actually labeled casks or wine barrels, or barrels in general. But they're pretty well labeled. It looks like they all contain ale. You have some large bags that just have what, as you search them, it appears to just be kind of basic food rations. And then the crates are kind of more of the same.
You guys need rations, don't you?
Indeed.
Probably running low.
Be good to stock up, yeah. So,
Solaris.
Solaris. Thank you for the prompt.
Yeah, no problem, Paylor.
Hold on. Did you just call him Paylor?
Yeah, that's what he goes by.
You are not Paylor.
Yeah, tell that to the maidens at the bar.
So no. My name is Halabar. I am a paladin for our Lord.
And you go around saying that you're Paylor?
No,
Do you know
my
how many?
smart mouth rogue buddy here enjoys that.
It is pretty funny.
Regardless, you said you were captured and held here for quite
A
some
week
time?
now.
My God.
I assume a week now.
So,
It's been too long since I've seen the sun.
did they make any mention of why? They weren't going to breed you, were they?
As far as I know, no. I do know that they were planning a sacrifice to an evil god.
Wasn't that the
Kyler?
what? Didn't we stop? That
You know,
dude almost
that's-
killed the shit out of me. I
It's
did
just
not
kind of
appreciate
going
that.
around lately. It's like the flu.
Nope. That was when was that? It's all sacrificing and spreading it around like the plague. Hold on. I think I have this written down.
So did they actually, mention anything ceremony-wise? Were they planning a certain time for this? Did they have a handful of evil-ass rings?
You're unfamiliar with any of those details, just that they were planning a sacrifice and that you're pretty sure that you were part of it.
Okay. No, I didn't have any details. I lived day by day trying to just stay alive.
Wow.
Sounds like they were trying to summon something like back when we escaped from all those. What were they? Those dudes that were trying to murder me when I was
Knolls.
captured with the Knowles guys. I was captured. We escaped. They were trying to do some summoning spell on that hill.
Gotta tell you, the gnolls here are starting to really irk me with their summoning of evil god stuff that they're attempting to do. Well, I say, basically, we are investigators from the city. We're sort of like the special police. So the reason we're here, fortunately enough for you, is we have been tracking some what I assume to be some sort of evil relics. They were stolen from a ship captain who obsessed over them until he got them, and that person sold them to an individual we believe in this cave. So far, though, we haven't seemed to have been able to locate him. However, we've found another group of gnolls attempting to resurrect some evil god. So that's awesome. That would be the second time this has happened within about 2 months. So there's that.
So you are tracking evil artifacts that you think were sold down here to somebody. You don't know exactly who and or what you're doing.
Sounds about right.
That's about our motto. Yeah.
Yeah, this cave in. Yeah, that was us.
Sounds like you know more than we do.
Yes, the cave in that's permeating all your lungs with terrible, terrible dust.
Yeah.
that was
Speaking of
you guys.
which, yeah, we probably should go ahead and either get out of this section of the cave.
I
or
imagine because you
out
guys kind of said
entirely.
so earlier that you guys have been moving away from this area.
Yeah.
So go ahead and let's pull your figs off of the board, and I'll at least put you back one map prior.
So as we go past the hay pile here, I'm gonna go ahead and cast detect magic and kind of check out those rings that the guy spilled all over the ground?
No, none of them are magical.
None. All right.
They look to be of.
I need the rings.
They look to be of fair value.
I'm picking them
well,
up.
Yeah, we'll snag them.
8 rings for me.
You have a gauntlet made of rigs now.
Yes.
That's right.
Punch people with them.
It
I have
does.
plans.
It does nothing, but you know it looks cool.
That's right.
Can we just say like 4 rings or 5 rings?
Call it 5 rings. 1 plain gold, 1 plain silver, 1 ornate silver with a ruby, 1 ornate silver with a sapphire, and 1 with a very intricate design made out of platinum.
Tim, we have work after this.
My cat
Tim,
is
you have
freaking the fuck out.
You have invisibility, right?
I can cast invisibility one more time today.
Okay. No, I need to make a ring. When we're done here, I have an idea.
He's gonna
Also-
need greater invisibility and permanency for that. Which are high.
No, not in the book.
Oh, all right.
Adam, unless you grabbed my fig, I may have forgotten to grab him.
He's still here.
Okay.
I didn't
didn't
pack.
seem
I
that.
didn't. I
Thanks.
didn't. I didn't pack it up, so it just got shunted.
Ah.
These guys are not here. They're dead. I'll move them off over here for now. They'll come back later. So yeah, you guys come back into this area over here where you were previously. And the air is still a little bit thick in this area, but it's a lot more tolerable than it was previously.
Okay. Well, I know where I'm going, and that is to put my shit on a fancy dancy nobleman's armor stand.
Yeah, because you're covered in goblin brain.
Yeah, we just can't have that. So we're heading that direction.
Alright, so Halavar's coming over to clean his armor.
All right, time for the striptease.
Bow.
Close your eyes, Solaris.
Why?
Or don't. You know, I might have a charisma of like 20.
So we're gonna move our way out of the kind of back the way we came.
That's the
Yeah.
only way to go. The other way was blocked off unless you want to spend several days unblocking the area that you guys caved in.
Yeah. How about no?
Okay, I'm gonna don my armor for a minute
nice
on
and-
the old
Nice and clean.
posty
Okay.
post here.
You
Get
put your
done in there.
you put your armor on there, and it just kind of like as soon as all of the pieces are on there, it doesn't do anything.
Disappears.
It just sits there.
Sigh.
It-
Hey, Tim, how do I where's the start button? Think at it like a pull cord or something. You gotta wind it up.
I will go ahead and inspect it and see if we can find a way to trigger the magic.
All right, you can roll.
Trigger, bro.
You can roll either spellcraft, arcana, or use magic device.
Let's see.
Ooh, I'm gonna roll magic device too.
Okay.
You roll a one and my shit blows up. You're buying me new armor.
Oh, what's happening?
19.
Oh, I rolled a 10. Our powers combined, we do not do anything.
Correct. What was Tim rolling?
Spellcraft.
Spellcraft. Okay. So you're inspecting it, and you're not quite. You know that this is what it's supposed to do, but you're not quite sure how to make it go based off of your spellcraft.
Then I'll try to remember it from all of my experience with Arcana.
Okay. All right.
I think I might remember something.
You know that once once you've got everything on there that you want to be cleaned, you boop the nose.
All you gotta do is boop it.
I raise an eyebrow and turn around and look at Tank.
The hell?
Hey,
You're fucking with me, aren't you? You better not have any type of magical recording device.
Do you want your armor cleaned?
I reach out.
Put your nose to the nose.
And you have to say boop. Those
And
are
you
the
have-
incantation words.
Nose to the nose, and you have to say boop.
I start leaning forward. Just like,
In the right tone. It has to be the right tone.
It has to be playful.
Come on. Get the shit clean. Still waiting.
I did it. You didn't hear me say it?
Nope.
Hey, here we go. Do it again.
And a wave of light shimmers over your equipment, and it becomes clean.
So, do you guys want to take the boop machine with us?
I'm thinking the boot machine has to come. It would be an absolute travesty to leave it here.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I go ahead and start putting my armor back on, and then once we're done, I'm gonna grab that thing and carry it over my shoulder.
You loft it over your shoulder. Okay. So are you guys, what are you doing with it? Are you just going to carry it with you through the cave system, or are you taking it back outside to your cart?
Taking it back outside to the cart.
Okay.
Have we not explored
I was
to our
gonna say-
satisfaction the cave system?
Well,
We can still go farther down.
You
Oh.
know that there were still
Never mind.
a couple of directions that you could go.
I was gonna say, because we just came down this way.
Well, you came from this
And-
direction.
We came from here, right?
You
Oh,
came
you just
from
went
over
straight
here.
down?
You came from here. You went because the Wolverine at the time detected a door and creatures this way. You guys basically just came from over here, looped
Right.
around, and came back down this way.
Okay.
Yeah, we
Well,
went the
in
rule
that
of
case-
right.
Yeah, we'll just instead of taking it out, we'll take it with us. I'll just kind of tote it along with me
Okay. And then which direction are you guys going?
this way.
I feel like that's the way we came from.
I feel like it is
Nope.
too, but
No, you guys came
Says
from
it's
this way.
not.
We've been tracing on the
Okay.
right.
yep, we're good.
Does anyone
Mhm.
have any chalk?
Have you been tracing on the right, or have
Shot.
you been tracing on the left? Because I thought somebody said left.
Yeah, I thought we were
Uh,
keeping it to our left. I could be wrong.
It's up to you guys.
Yeah, let's go this way. What's the worst that could happen?
Halivar, I can lead if you have your fucking boot machine.
Sweet.
Okay.
Sounds
I'll
good.
pull out the dagger that had light on it.
Okay.
We'll just assume that I have it. You don't have to put a sphere on me.
Yeah. Sure, I'm glad I spent time prepping all directions for this cave. I don't mean that sarcastically.
Well,
Load. Come on, you could do it. I promise you
I
can.
need to find a way to get some dark vision around here.
Yep. So,
Would be nice.
you guys don't see it as characters yet, but something happened with the fire that this guy created, where the textures all got broken. So there's fire, but all of the smoke is like weirdly shaped angles.
Huh.
Like the PNGs for the fire or whatever that he's using are not, like the backgrounds got fucked up, not clear anymore. So yeah, you guys are coming in from here. So you
From this
begin
top.
back on the other side of the map.
Oh, we're coming in from the far left?
Yeah, you're coming in from my side of the table.
Okay.
So you guys begin down the pathway out of that area. You walk for probably a good 10 minutes before you get to where you are currently.
Where the hell did that go? I like threw it all the way back in your shed.
Yep.
Okay.
All right, so
So, Solara, did you tell us that you were a cleric?
I'm a high priestess of Pelor.
So you told us you were a cleric?
I'm a high priestess of Pelor.
Would
you
the
Is there
high
something you
priestess
need, Paladin?
you never did heal him.
There's lots of things he needs.
Yeah, out here, doing
I
my
can't help
duty,
with everything he needs, apparently.
doing my
No one
duty,
can.
protecting high priestesses and saving them from the ravages of dogs and creepy
Other
green
dogs.
men. I could use maybe just a little sprinkle. So, a little bit of healing here.
Did the high priestess?
Should we just take the time to heal up? Yeah.
I think that'd be a good idea.
Did the high priestess of Pelor also happen to mention that she's almost out of spells?
Haven't seen the
No.
sun
That-
in a week.
That would probably be somewhat problematic, but
Should
But
we
whatever.
go back to our cart? We could say we did and take your fucking mannequin back there?
Your
it's
boop machine?
not a bad idea. I assume that she would like to see the sun and
I would love
You know.
to see the sun.
maybe catch up on some devotion she's been slacking on.
Excuse me?
What? Huh?
Maybe if you had, listened to your church and found out that there was a missing high priestess earlier,
Ah, well.
We haven't been
instead
to
of
church
playing
in
around with the
weeks.
tavern wenches.
There's no need to mention that the last time we went to the church, they totally took all our stuff and didn't give us nothing for it.
They didn't give a shit. Didn't we give him some dagger? They
I'm
didn't
pretty
give us a-
sure we did. Some horrifying evil dagger, and they
Yeah.
were like,
And
they
they're like,
looked at
oh,
us like, and?
that's cool. Thanks, bro. And they fucking sent us on our way.
Yeah, we'll
Yeah.
destroy this
They
fire late.
They didn't even let us take money out of a little donation hat.
All right, so you
All right,
guys
so
are,
is that what we're doing? We're going back to the cart and shit?
I think that's a good idea.
okay. So you guys head back out of the cave system. We'll say that you didn't make it to this point as of yet. You head back out of the cave to the beginning of the cave system. As you step out of the caves, your lungs fill with fresh, clean air. Only then do you realize just how heavy the dust was in the cave system still from the collapse. As you're standing outside, the sun beginning actually on the verge of setting. It's casting a very low light across the area. And you actually see the dust blowing out of the cave as if being carried by a wind current that's coming from further within. It was hard to tell when you were inside, just constantly surrounded by it, but now that you're near an exit, you can definitely see the movement of the dust making its way out of the cave. The ground...
And not from the entrance?
From the entrance, yes. From the area that
okay.
you guys are coming out of, but more than it would just be carried out, just from rolling from the explosion still, because that happened a while back. It's more like that there is a wind current flowing through the cave system, however subtle, that is pushing the dust out. And you can tell that it's been actually doing this for a while based on the amount of dust that's kind of collected on the things just outside, i.e. the bodies that you left murderized at the entrance,
Oh, good.
which are now covered and crawling in all manner of bugs. And as you guys come out of the cave system, you see some critters scatter away from the remains.
Well, since it's almost sunset, do we want to let it rest? Say we camp out for a night and we'll just take watch for a round.
Sounds good to me.
Sure.
That way, she's fully rested, and if she wants to, we can go back in and finish what we're trying to do.
Sounds like a good plan to me.
Otherwise, what? It's a 2-week trek back to town.
Yep.
And
Oh,
you
jeez.
can't have our cart, so
Priestess is like, peace, guys. Thanks. See you later. And Angel's out of the
Thanks for
campaign.
getting me out of there.
right.
This is just an escort quest. Just get her out.
Yeah. All right, so you guys make it back to your cave. Anu is there hanging out, taking care of the horses and keeping an eye on the cart. Becky has joined her, and they're just kind of hanging out, munching a little bit of rations. Becky's managed to kill a squirrel or two that they're roasting over a fire.
So I guess while we're camped out, we should probably go ahead and just fill Solaris in on everything that's been going on. Just small talking.
Go ahead and do that. Since she hasn't been around for the entire first portion of the campaign, go ahead and fill her in on what's going on.
Fuck, I don't remember.
Well, I guess we'll just,
Story
start out.
recap time.
Basically just start out by talking about the
Gladsheen, that motherfucker.
start with the knolls that we came up on, and the sacrifice that was going on in the altar, which hopefully is like, you don't happen to know that the church mentioned if they were sending like a battalion out to take this thing out.
You
When
actually
was this? When was this that you came upon?
This was a couple weeks ago.
Oh, so I was not captured yet.
couple months ago.
Couple
Yeah,
months ago.
a couple months ago. Yeah,
It just feels like it was yesterday.
yeah. But we definitely did. I know that was one of the first things that I did was I went back to the church and reported this absolute horrifying relic to an evil god that needed destroyed. So
Matter of fact, you were the one that he reported it to.
my God,
Well,
how familiar!
You are unaware. You've been traveling through the smaller cities, spreading the light of Paylor, and that's actually how you managed to be captured. As you were on your way back to the town of Booked
traveling around.
when you were captured.
Let's see. Well, at any rate, we go ahead and describe how that all went down. The dagger that we took and brought back to the church for destruction.
But you got to remember that she actually doesn't legitimately know any of what you're talking about. Angel herself.
Right,
What
that's
god
fine.
were they trying to bring back?
We honestly don't
We
know.
don't know.
I know that my detect evil sense gave me a migraine, so it was a pretty bad one. Yeah, there wasn't any marking, and the gnoll wasn't feeling very talkative as he was running and diving down a hole at the time. But we moved on from there. We went back to the city. We were then called to and notebook. Let's see here.
We were trying to track down Gladsheen for a while after that, right? Because
Yeah.
we had heard of
Yeah, we got back, and we got called back to the manor house of what the hell's their name?
Tell me.
the
I
really
did
rich family, right?
Yeah, the really rich family. I don't think I wrote down their name.
Shows how important she was to you, Halavar.
Well,
That's right.
one of the crowd. One of the crowd.
Haywood. Ren
Haywoods. So we were told that Ren Haywood had some information and that she was concerned about. So we, of course, as a city watch, went up there and investigators went up, and she was concerned that there was a plot on the city being carried out by who we discovered was a very nasty little dwarf known as Gladshame. And we've been tracking him for quite a while. Caught up with him, found out that he had snuck onto a ship captain's ship, broke into his office for the express purpose of stealing 6 very, very evil rings that we discovered that he'd been obsessing over for just years. It ruined his life tracking these things down, apparently. But he got them, and then Glad She took them. And through tracking that down, we discovered that he took them to this cave to receive his payment, and we are on the trail of them now.
So he was obsessed to the point where it destroyed his life just to sell these rings?
No,
No,
there was a
the
merchant
ship captain.
captain.
The ship
Merchant
captain was
tracked him
obsessed
down.
with it. Yeah.
Okay.
Gladshame subsequently killed said ship captain.
And
Gotcha.
the entire family of the warehouse manager to take his place so that he could get close enough to the ship captain. This guy was
He was pretty.
this guy was
insane.
pretty bad.
Yeah.
Sounds like it.
He was pretty special. He had a fireball encapsulated in his tooth, and he blew his head off. when
Trying
we
to
were
kill us.
interrogating him. It was special. I wish I would have had Mr. Boot Machine at the time.
That would have saved you some painstaking hours of cleaning his guts out of your armor.
Would that was not pleasant. So that's basically what we're up to. Church knows what's going on. I don't know that anybody really takes it quite as seriously as they should be at the moment.
Especially
Except for Ren
since,
Haywood. Ren Haywood seems to take it pretty seriously. But
well, especially now that we found out that they kidnapped someone else to try to sacrifice
that's true.
to summon
never know.
whatever the hell.
Maybe that'll get some more notice now that we have a high priestess that was kidnapped for sacrificial purpose.
So to
That
fill
would
in
be
a couple
nice.
to fill in a couple of details, they did a pretty good job for the most part. But to fill in a couple of details, just because they might be somewhat important to what your character knows. So the party originally, their last job that they were working on was that a group of nobles had been kidnapped traveling from one of the local towns on their way to the main city of Bucht. They were captured, it turns out, by the gnolls. The party had tracked them down, rescued them. One of the nobles died in that fight, but they rescued the rest of them and got them all back to the city. The party then sought out to capture the gnolls and figure out what was going on, during the process of which Kylar became captured by the gnolls, and they made off with him. So the party tracked them down to an area, and at the time of locating them, they were beginning a ritual to sacrifice Kylar for some nefarious scheme. They aren't sure exactly what, but there was an altar that just embodied utter evil. And
Where's that altar compared to where we are currently?
They're not entirely sure. They think that it's roughly maybe a week away, but the route that they took to get there drastically differed from the route that they took to get here.
Okay.
Could be a week, could be a couple of days, could be right around the corner. They really aren't sure just because the paths to get to the different places don't quite line up. So there were a bunch of nobles that were going to be sacrificed. They rescued them. Kylar got captured. They were going to sacrifice Kylar. They rescued Kylar instead. Killed the majority of the gnolls that were in the area, but not before their shaman escaped, as previously mentioned, by diving down a hole, or a hatchway, basically.
Pretty much sealed himself off.
Yeah, party got back to the city. Advised the church and their boss of this information, then got their quest to go speak with Ren Haywood, who advised them of the other details of what was going on. And then that's when they found out that they began their quest to try to find more information about that. Got wind of Gladshame, Orc Slicer, caught on to a couple of his different murder situations, found out that Once they tracked down his apartment finally, due to some sleuthing and contacts that Kylar had, they were able to locate his apartment, sifted through and found out that he's actually a serial killer. And he'd kept trophies from well over 100 people that he's murdered. One of which was their old partner, like before the campaign even started. Like think level 2 when the campaign started at level 5. And also like it showed that he had no discretion, because some of the stuff that he had made it apparent that he had also killed children in his past, not just adults. So he literally had no discretion. He would kill anybody. And then they went out to a local island, which you're familiar with, which is the fishing, like the kind of fishing island.
Yep.
And gathered more information that Gladshim had gotten some work from a person. They found out that work was to gather these rings from the ship's captain that he murdered, and deliver them to the cave system that they are currently exploring. But that's as far as the information has gotten them thus far, is to the entrance of this cave, and then the exploring inside that they've done so far.
And you guys don't have a description of the rings? Any markings? What it's made of?
They were in a very ornate case that we found.
We know that they embody a very strong evil, which
You have the case?
paladin. Did we encounter the case?
Yes, you guys found the case that the rings were originally kept in.
Yeah, I actually.
And there was a trace of the evil there.
I'm pretty sure we did take the case. Yeah.
And
Do you have the case with you?
I believe I do in my backpack.
Hey, let me see it.
And 1 second, Angel and I are going to go to a different audio chat for a second, so I can fill her in on some information that her character knows.
Okay.
Okay, so when you were originally captured, you were held in a larger cell for a while, and there were a smattering of different types of people in that larger cell. The majority of them, however, appeared at least noble in nature. They'd been stripped of their gear and all of their fancy, expensive clothing, but the way that they carried themselves, their posture, the way they behaved, the way they talked, it was easy to identify that the majority of these people were nobles, including the fact that there were some kids there as well. So you have knowledge that at least as of 2 days ago, when they started to move you to a different area, that there was a cell that contained people of noble birth somewhere in this cave system.
I want to make a ring of invisibility,
And we're back.
since that's kind of what I wanted one of those rings for that we found.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and we're back.
Alrighty. So at any rate, I dig through my pack for a while until I find the case and hand it over to her.
And at this point, you guys are still kind of out at the campsite by the carts.
Yep.
Campfire. Eating some actual food, not
That's right.
whatever the hell they fed me.
I'm sure that's good.
So the case itself, does it have religious markings? Does it have...
It actually appears to be a very plain case. There's nothing really...
I thought you said it was ornate.
It's got some markings on it that it makes it look pretty.
Okay.
But it's not it's like nothing indicative of anything specific. It just looks like a pretty case. Like there's no religious markings, there's no markings of any sort of, local area or anything like that. It's just got some scroll work in it, some pretty designs, things like that. But nothing that
leads it to be a religious or maybe a mark of a specific noble household.
Nope.
Okay. Well, that was bum. Here you go. Have your box back.
I go ahead and
Does Halavar still sense evil on the box, or is that dissipated?
It is dissipated at this point.
I'll go ahead and tuck it back. Actually, I say, hey, Kylar, you want these for your bling?
Hell yeah.
Go ahead and hand him the case.
Just gonna pocket it, sell it later.
All right, so
So,
you guys, you kind of recount your tales to Solaris to fill her in on what's been going on for you guys. Camp out and hang out for the night. Those of you that have
Let me
tents,
get you guys a couple of good heals before I refresh my heals for the day.
Sweet.
So you can go ahead and roll those and disperse those as you see fit. I think Halavar's the one that took the most damage, if not the only person that took damage. But you guys are able to set up camp. Those of you that have tents are able to use them. There's also, again, the space, the 2 decently long benches inside the cart where people could lay down to sleep. The night passes without real incident. The creatures of the forest continue to make their little sounds throughout the night, so it doesn't appear that anything's encroaching on your territory. You don't notice anything, and nothing disturbs you throughout the night on your watches. So somebody got healed for 26 points of damage, points of health.
Feel better?
Much.
So with that being said, you want to come back in here with us? Try to find these rings?
Yeah, especially since it sounds like that was part of sacrificial ritual to bring back an evil god that I'm obviously against. I don't like being sacrificed.
Or was your capture all a ruse to get you in with the party for nefarious schemes?
Dun dun dun!
Well, welcome aboard then.
Welcome to the CIA.
Do we carry deputy badges? Do we deputize her to the city force?
I think we do have deputy badges.
No, you have your badges, but you don't have deputy badges that you can hand out to others.
Yeah, I don't think our
This
boss
seems like
lets
a
us have
major
those.
oversight.
Your boss doesn't
Major
really like
oversight.
you to begin with, so she's not going to let you. She assumes that anybody that you would try to deputize, she would dislike just as much as she dislikes you.
Yeah, our boss is
So-
kind of a bitch, so...
That's pretty fair.
All
Alright, so
What knowledges does Solaris have?
Nobility, planes, religion, and those are my big ones.
Local?
History.
History. Do you have anything in local?
Yeah, very, very little.
Okay. You can roll
Very
a local.
little.
You can roll a local if you want, but you'll probably be better off rolling a noble.
Okay. Oh,
Do you guys mention at all your boss's name? Who
What
your
is our
boss
boss
is?
name?
Well, she probably doesn't like us because we can't remember her name. That's probably
Part of it.
She goes by
Margle.
boss lady.
Margle Marwind.
boss lady.
Oh, Murgle.
That's why
Like
she hates
the
you.
Murloc.
I rolled pretty terrible on that one.
Margle.
Margle the Murloc.
No.
Margle.
You work for a
Marwind.
Murloc.
We work for Murloc.
You don't recognize
Never
the
mind,
name
I'll
right
take
offhand.
myself back to town.
Yeah, you don't recognize the name offhand of their boss, so just wanted to double check that.
Sure.
So you guys pass the evening, and head back into the cave system, I'm presuming.
Yep.
Okay, so you head back into the caves, and as you enter the caves, you know the sunlight coming up through the sky. Imagine Solaris does her praying to get her spells back in the light of Paylor in the morning. And you don't notice from this low light shed any more dust coming out of the cave. It seems to either be dissipated, or there are no breezes currently pushing dust out. As you head into the cave system, however, the air is relatively fresh. There's a moistness to it being carried by the wind. Some of it may be from dew that's starting to be pulled into the cave system, but it's kind of in the air as well. It's a little bit humid, but it's still definitely clean air as opposed to what you experienced previously.
Okay.
And then are you going to take the same route going to the same area, or are you going to go to the left?
Let's see.
From the previous map, were you going to come back to this way, or were you going to take your first left to go the other way? Just seeing if you want me to change maps, or if you want to keep going this way.
I think we should. Well, no, I guess we could go at our first left since we never went down that way. But no, you know what? I think going back to the point where we left off would be best. What do you guys think?
Yeah, let's just go down here.
My 26 tells me something.
But you rolled a 13 on your. Oh, you have a mod. Okay, that's fine. I say I vote go back to where we were before we went outside.
That was a dungeoneering check, by the way.
Okay. For dungeoneering. You can't really tell which direction the breeze is coming from specifically. It feels like it's kind of coming from multiple different areas to meet up and exit the cave. And even this deep into the cave system, the air is more fresh than you would expect it to be. So you do take note of that this deep into a cave system, the air is usually more stagnant from lack of movement. There's usually a lot more mildew collected on the walls and the floor. Whereas it's, other than a tiny bit of humidity to the air, you aren't noticing that buildup of mold or algae or anything along those lines. The air is moving throughout the cave system, which seems,
Somebody's keeping this place clean.
Ish.
Well, I mean, forget about the dirt and the bones and all that stuff, but other than that.
All right, so it takes you guys a while to get back to this point in the cave system. From the general maps, it looks like these are all interconnected the way that they are, but from cave section to cave section, you guys are actually spending, between 10 minutes and 30 minutes to get between the different cave sections going down the various tunnels that you're taking. So you guys arrive at this cave section roughly about an hour and a half, 2 hours from going into the cave.
Okay.
At this point, also, the light spells have worn off unless you've recast them on something.
It's
I'll
easy
take
to
a-
cast on whatever.
Yeah, I'll take a light spell on my dagger again and then just sheath it.
Oh, go ahead and let him recast on this sword.
Surprised you don't have light. The only you don't.
Honestly, don't believe that I do. I don't think it's a choice.
Might not be. I don't even fucking remember. But yeah, you guys get back to this point. So it's up to you guys what you're doing and the order that you're gonna go in.
Yes, I'll go ahead and lead.
All right, so you're just kind of moving forward through the. So you only have one spell, and it's a first level spell, so you get no cantrips. So yeah, not surprising actually that you don't have light. All right, so you're coming along through the cave system.
Ooh, what's this over here with a bunch of skulls?
So yeah, that is there as you guys come into the cave system. It's kind of like a marker. So is this giant rib cage that's over here in this little corner here.
Is there anything on the skulls we can take or inspect?
No, they look to be stacked very carefully. They are all picked completely clean, so they're aged. They're dirty with age and just the color of the bone being changed over time. But they're almost meticulously clean.
Okay. Well, I guess we'll just kind of edge up around the corner here. Anywhere in particular you guys want to go? Straight or right?
Right.
Okay. Come around the corner.
Be right back.
Hey,
All my game's freaking out.
I, I don't recognize you. Where'd you come from?
Back in the rest of the cave area. There appears to be, can't actually tell what he is.
he's an orc.
Orc.
There's an orc now?
Appears to be an
What
orc
the
ahead.
hell? Alright, so we got orcs and goblins in this damn cave.
Damn humans and your need for light.
So he doesn't like the light. He's dissing Paylor, bro.
It does sort of seem like a diss.
Who's
He
the
does not like. does
Who's
not
the
like
leader of your
Paylors.
encampment?
Yo, mama.
Are you supposed to be in this area?
Yeah, we were sent down here to grab the rings.
The hell are you talking about?
What are you talking about? Come on, man. We know you
Who's-
have the rings.
Who's the leader of your encampment?
I am.
Oh, well, excellent. What's your name?
Crunk.
That's an audible laugh. I hope he can hear that. Don't
You
worry.
can.
Okay.
Well, Crunk?
Crunk, not to be confused with Grunk. Grunk, weird little goblin.
I think we might have actually met Crunk.
I doubt it. Gronk doesn't ever leave his little tent area. Weakling.
Yeah.
Answer the question. Who is the leader of your encampment?
Gladsheen.
Glad she. Yeah, I was about to say.
I've not seen Gladsheem in many days. Many weeks even. Why would he send you here? Disgraceful little dwarf.
To collect what's his.
He holds no claim. Anything that he brought here was brought for a price. He relinquishes any rights. He has no home here. If you are with him, neither do you.
Oh, no. He actually had something else he wanted to sell. That's why we're back.
Your story changes often.
Well, I am a human. You know, we do have that proclivity.
True.
So, who do we talk to about fencing this stuff?
What is it you wish to fence?
We have a
see no
ceremonial
hammers.
sacrificial dagger. Hammers.
You wish to fence something? I see no tools.
Oh,
dear
he
God.
means sell.
Then
Bye,
say
boss.
sell.
We want to sell stuff,
Yeah.
Mr. Orc Man.
Human.
What's
Again.
what's your name, buddy?
You have a bad memory.
Yes, we do. We do have a bad memory, but we have some stuff we want to sell. You know, and try to pay off Gladsheen's debt.
That seems debt. He owes no debt to us.
Now he owes a debt to someone else.
Well, he sure feels like it.
What do his debts concern us?
What's in it for you and us is what's of concern.
Of no concern to me.
So are you who we would talk to sell something?
No. You speak with Shaman.
Well, lead the way, Gronk.
You should know the way, human.
I haven't been here before. He sent us here to do his dirty work, so...
Then how did you get this far? Any before here would have told you you're not supposed to come this way.
Ah, so back to the last cave there and to the left?
You
Yeah, see, the problem is that there was a cave in, and most of those guys kind of fell onto it and are pretty dead. So we survived the cave in and just came this way because everything else was blocked off.
Blocked off. All of it?
Most of it. There's the pathway going outside is still open though.
Yes, the pathway toward Kronk's encampment is blocked, though.
If you got to Kronk's encampment, then it's not blocked.
Nah, it's pretty blocked. You should go check it out.
This guy is Kronk.
Oh, this is Kronk and not Gronk? Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, yeah. So,
And Gronk is in same encampment. He is forward, not backward. I think you are confused. Go
We're
speak
very
to
confused.
Go speak to Shaman.
Alright, where's the shaman at? Let's talk to shaman.
You said it a moment ago. Back into the other way. If you were coming here, it would have been on your left. If you were going back, it would be
appreciate
on your
that.
right.
we appreciate your help. Thank you.
Stupid
Thanks, Boo.
humans.
Okay, so we gotta go talk to shaman guy.
All
Where
right,
the
this
hell he
way.
is?
I would assume he's back this way to the left, so... I'm going to step off the map.
We're just gonna assume that you guys go back and then to the left.
Okay.
Did I go back one too many? I think I did. No, there we go.
All right.
Wait for the last bit of map to load. Go.
Moving us all.
And then this fucking door.
Okay.
That doesn't belong there. So yeah, you guys are coming in from here.
Okay.
However, it is 12 o'clock, so it's up to you guys.
Oh shit. Yeah. You want to pause before we go fight a shaman?
It's up to you guys.
Yeah, I gotta be up early too. I didn't even realize it was midnight.
All right. Well, that works for me.
Alright, then I'm going to see who else is online. And I just realized that I haven't had the map up on the screen. Oops. I've just had our faces up there. That's okay. It's descriptive Dungeons and Dragons. Everybody knows you ran into an orc and talked to it, and it didn't try to murder you immediately. They got
Right.
that from context.
Absolutely.
So,
And, you know, normally I would have had your Twitch feed up, in which case I would have told you, hey, employee, you don't have the map up.
Employee, really?
Yeah, I pay for this.
You do, actually. You do pay for this. For free, but you pay for it, in a way.
Right.
Free, but not free. And it's appreciated. Now, if I can only get, 2,000 other people to do it, then I can quit my day job.
Sweet.
So we are gonna go raid Divinate. Another small Dungeons and Dragons stream. They stream a little slightly modified version of 5e, which I have played a little bit of recently, and it's actually not as terrible as I thought it was.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure 5e is what they come up with whenever they found out, oh shit, we fucked up with 4th edition.
Yeah, 4th
and a whole
edition
nother
got
company.
completely fucked.
Whole nother company made a whole nother game system that we should have made. We probably ought to fix this.
Yeah.
It's what we're playing right now.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, we are gonna go raid Divinate. Just throw a little bit of a chat message up in his stream to let him know where you're coming from if you're gonna follow me over there, which is that Ironwood Tavern raid, courtesy of Montrevant. Let him know that you're coming from there. Say hello, say goodnight. All right, everybody, we're gonna. Oh, Paul already hopped off camera. That bastard.
Oh shit. Yep, my bad.
He just
Like,
peace.
deuced
I'm out of
out,
here.
man.
I'm out of here. All right, guys. Thanks for playing. Hope you guys had a good evening. I know I did. We will see you back on Tuesday for some game prep. Thursday for our crafting stuff. While we try to finish up some stuff for Saving Throw Show. If I don't finish it up this week, which I'm hoping to do because they're going to start their module that they're running next week. So I need to get some shit mailed out to them so they have it to use. Anyway, thank you guys for playing. Did you guys have fun?
Yup.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
All right, awesome. We'll pick it
Love
up
this
now.
damn cave.
I don't know how much more cave dungeon crawling it's going to be. It kind of depends on you guys because there's a couple different paths that you could take and ways that you could go about things. But there is the potential for a fair bit more dungeon crawling or not a fair bit more dungeon crawling depending on situations. So we'll see how it goes as we move forward. And now we have Solissa, played by Angel. Welcome to the stream. Thank you for joining our ranks. You being here will make it so that we rarely don't stream Dungeons and Dragons on Friday because before, if we got to the point where we were missing 2 people, we didn't have enough players. Today we were missing 2 people, and it still left us with 4 players. So now, unless we have 3 people missing, which is possible, we've had it happen, we will be streaming pretty much every Friday. And also depending on the situation, if we're not in the middle of a cave system where there's the potential for, tons of bad guys, we might be able to run with 3 if it's just RP stuff. But we'll see how it goes and what we want to do. But yeah, we're gonna go head on over to Divinate. Thank you guys for stopping by. We will catch you next time. Peace, love, later.
Good night, guys.
Night.
All right.
Bye.